Hi, I am Dr. Pellegrino's father. My name is also Bob, uh, and I'm here to tell you a story about something that happened to me. I think it was the summer of '68 or maybe the summer of 1969. I'm not exactly sure. I was a buyer at Montgomery Ward, and I get called into my boss's office, and there was a technical guy from Ward's there. I don't know what his title was. And the someone from AT&T. And they asked me if I would participate in the first sales pitch on AT&T's new, I would call it picture phone. I don't know exactly what they called it, but it was a picture phone. It was a phone with a picture on it, and they wanted me to participate in a sales call. So I said, sure, okay, I'll do it. So we get in the car and drive to downtown Chicago to the AT&T offices, and I ask, well, who's going to be on the other end of the line? And they tell me a guy from a company named Sunglow in New York is at the New York AT&T office, and he will be presenting a product to me to consider purchasing from Montgomery Ward. So, so we get to the AT&T offices, and we go into this room, and there's a little telephone with a little screen on it, which was pretty amazing for 1968, 1969. And so they fiddled around and turned it on, and before you know it, on the screen is a picture of this man in New York, and he's talking to me. Now, I knew the guy, so that made it easier to have the conversation because I knew him, and I knew the company. The name of the company was Sunglow, and I don't remember the salesman's name. I used to remember, but I don't anymore. Anyway, so he presented a product to me, which was an oil lamp, which looks something like this. And the idea was not only to sell lamps, but to sell oil lamp fuel, which we would sell in different colors and flavors and scents, I guess primarily scents. And the idea was to try to get the lamps out and then keep selling these customers more fuel. The man in New York makes a sales pitch to me, presented the lamp, and presented the price and the terms and everything, and we negotiated a little back and forth. So I finally said, okay, we will buy some, we will buy them. And so it was a relatively short conversation because it was a relatively simple product and a relatively simple sales pitch, which I think AT&T was anxious to keep the conversation as simple as possible and not let it get too complicated. So that's what we did. We did it, and we were told that this was the first telephone picture sales pitch in the history of AT&T, and probably in the history of the world. So that was pretty exciting. I never did get a copy of the video. I never got anything. It was just, thank you very much, go back to work and go do your thing. So that's basically the story. It was just out of the blue, AT&T decides they wanted to do this, and for some reason I got picked to do it, and generally because I was always never had a problem doing new things or trying new things or buying new things. Whenever they couldn't find a buyer to buy something, they would come to me and say, would you try to find this? Would you try to find that? I know one year I had to buy zebra hides, which was sort of interesting because nobody else wanted to do it, so I had to learn how to buy zebra hides. And so anyway, so they came to me to do this. And that was the story of the sales by telephone, picture phone, I think they called it. It never, as far as I know, never took off and never really. The AT&T, I don't think ever did anything with it until now today. Obviously, all of us can go online and buy stuff, and like it's second nature. But and at that time, it was pretty different and pretty new. And like I said, I don't know what A&T, why they didn't pursue it and why they didn't expand it, but as far as I knew, that was the beginning and the end of it. So thank you. Bye-bye.